Hello everyone, and let's kick off another round of Thomas Wooden Railway discussions with one of the rarest, hardest to find sets in the entirety of the Thomas Wooden Railway range. This is the 1993 version of the 100-piece set from the very early days of the Learning Curve era. It's a totally awesome set that has a fun story to go along with it, so let's get started. One thing you might notice right away is that these pieces of track are missing their grooves. Was this made by Brio or Imaginarium? Actually, this is genuine Thomas Wooden Railway track. For those who don't know, when the brand was first started back in the early 1990s, the designers originally went with a plain, unmarked look that looks incredibly similar to Brio, which was the most popular toy train line at the time. However, it didn't take long for the Thomas Wooden Railway range to gain its own distinct track, and by 1994, everything had been switched to the now famous clickety-clack track. Because of this change, early versions of plain Thomas Wooden Railway track are extremely hard to find. Now for a bit of a history lesson. The 100-piece set was Learning Curve's flagship set for a number of years, and it went through a few changes along the way. The 1993 version is by far the rarest incarnation, as the brand was just starting out when it was released. By 1994, two of the sheds had been removed and some more engines and rolling stock were added, so the inaugural version is highly sought after. It was sold with only two sheds for a number of years into the late 90s, before being revived as a massive Thomas and the Magic Railroad theme set for 2000. After that, however, the 100-piece layout was abandoned as there were multiple gigantic Thomas Wooden Railway sets being sold at the same time, and the 100-piece version didn't have the updated amenities and destinations as some of the newer ones. Now I know you've been staring at this set all video long, so let's get into what's included. There are so many iconic and legendary items that make up this 100-piece set, including 4 special engine sheds, a brown turntable, Elsbridge Station, Elsbridge Platform, the Family of 4, the water tower, the windmill, the Archstone Bridge, the repair shed, it just goes on and on. Not to mention that there are more than 40 trees that came with this set. How cool is that? In an interesting twist of fate, my Thomas playboard that came with the A Day at the Works set from the late 90s actually fits the layout of this set perfectly. You can see that everything has a specific place, and the detailing on the playboard matches up perfectly with the track. Now you might be wondering, Thomas Wooden Railway, how did you end up with this version of the set? Well, it's actually a very cool story. I saw a listing on a website called Craigslist, which is a buyer and seller website for a number of items, but they also have a toy section. A lady was selling this entire set, along with a few engines and some vintage Brio items, for less than $100. I immediately knew right away that I couldn't pass up this opportunity, so I quickly contacted her, and eventually we met up and she gave me all of those items for a great deal. She said that she had bought the set for her son about 25 years ago, but they never got around to putting it together, and it had just been sitting in their basement this whole time. The engines she included came with their boxes, but she couldn't remember where or how she ended up with those. It's interesting to note that none of the boxes have their peg holders punched out, which leads me to believe that she didn't buy them in stores. This was truly a case of being at the right place at the right time. I ended up with one of the most iconic sets in all of the Thomas Wooden Railway range for a fantastic deal. In another awesome surprise, the seller included the original instructions that came with the set. Look at how cool all of this is. There's even an extra page that details the process of gluing the tracks down to the playboard so that you don't lose your elements of Sodor during playtime. As you might have guessed, I am absolutely a fan of this 100-piece set. It's large, it comes with a ton of destinations and accessories, a variety of track, it really is the perfect Thomas playset. In fact, I would go as far to say that it's the best Thomas Wooden Railway set of all time, which is pretty high praise considering how many other awesome layouts are out there. I can't stop looking at the design and thinking about all of the love and thought that went into making such a wonderful rendition of the island of Sodor. There is so much Thomas and toy history here, and I hope I've done this set justice when it comes to showcasing how spectacular it is. Considering where the Thomas and Friends wood range is going, this set is an awesome reminder of how good things used to be. If you're ever feeling down about the current state of the merchandise, this video will always be here to remind you of what's possible when creative, dedicated individuals with a love of toys and trains come together to make quality sets for young children. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more Thomas Wooden Railway discussions. I'll be uploading more videos all month long, and I hope you'll join me in the fun. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.